Hi Libra, this is Kelly from Moon Pie Tarot. This is your 6-month love energy reading beginning in March and ending in August 2017. So Libra, this is for Libra Sun, Moon, or Rising. And the spread that I have laid out, I've created this myself. So the way it works is the card in the center represents your advice and energy for the next 6 months, more of guidance for you in love. And each card represents the month. Now these energies can flow or they can crash. Either way, they can begin somewhere in the middle of the month and blend into the following month. They don't just begin on the first and end on the last day. They could, but as with all things, there's usually a transition from one to the next. So do keep that in mind when you're listening, and if you revert back to this reading in the future, you could feel these energies at any time, really. Some of you may have already felt them. So take whatever the message comes to you and that resonates for you as guidance for future actions. So let's begin your reading. The card in the center is Saint Germain, and it says work your magic. So Libra, the energy for this card and the advice going forth, it's saying that you have the power to resolve this situation that you're inquiring about right now. And the reason for listening to this reading, the card is signifying you to untap your magical abilities, which you may have used successfully in the past, and to pull these abilities out of storage and use them to work your magic now. Your clear and focused intentions, positive expectations, prayers, decrees, and action steps all create the healings and manifestations that you desire. So this card is really just saying for you to decide clearly what you will and won't accept in this particular situation, as your clarity will bring immediate results. Have steady faith in a positive outcome. And for some of you, take the time to study alchemy and manifestation principles. So I do feel like this card can relate in some way to the Magician, where it talks about manifesting. Use your magic, Libra. You have the gift of voice. So use that magic, your speaking ability, your ability to come to the truth, to understanding. Take not too much time to weigh the pros and cons, but come to a decision in this month. And I feel, not in this month, within these, in the future, the next 6 months, and I feel that you will, because you're starting out March with the Star card. The Star card is linked to hope, and even in difficulty in relationship issues, or just in general in love. But as far as feelings goes, it's more beautiful. So some of you, a person in question or someone that you are dealing with currently could be viewing you as the star. This is a person, you can see she's somewhat naked. She's pouring out water onto her lover, and this is a form of emotion, so letting her emotions out. This card sometimes is linked with Aquarius, and it's almost like having this renewed sense of hope in the month of March, being completely free of burden. And coming out into the open, maybe being more transparent, being more visible to others and to anyone in particular. You could be putting all of your energy into one person, and that energy will help you to understand what this other person thinks of you, because I feel like there's another person who views you as innocent, who has pure love to fill up their heart and with joy and with happiness. And I feel like this person finds you soothing and knows that you will always be there for them. I do feel like they are optimistic even when things go wrong, and that you are also, but that you are the type of person to stand by them. You are coming across by working your magic as like the light at the end of the tunnel for them. You have some kind of ability to bring healing of some sort to another person, or to many people. But if there is someone in particular that you are thinking of at this time, the cards are telling you to work that magic that you have, those gifts that you have, that you know that you have. And if you don't know you have them, read about alchemy and manifestations, because they are there. Perhaps you just haven't noticed. Some of you may have been dealing with someone that made it difficult for you to see your truth. So March is a time for you to do that. And I do feel like they do view you that way, though, in general. Going into April, you have the King of Wands. So some of you could be dealing with a fire sign. This person is older, 40s, 50s and up, and 40 and up. And they are, this could be a lover. Excuse me. This could be a lover. This could be someone who, it could be a boss. It could be anyone. But this is a beautiful card. This person is, well, first of all, as far as energy goes, it's telling you to focus on something specific with all of your energy. It's not generally a romantic card, the King of Wands. But because this king is driven by the energy of wands, they can be taken as someone who tries too hard to satisfy his, her, or another person's desire. So your energy can be that. You know, you and I don't feel like it's bad. I feel like in April you really will be working hard to make a relationship work, or to make something work in your love life. Trying really hard, you and perhaps another person, if you're attached to someone, making something work. I feel there's a lot of this magical energy happening in the beginning of this 6-month period. You know, there's the energy of a need for adventure in love and romance. So this card could signify that not that you've checked out of this relationship. You may be very heavily involved in social networking or social media, or they may be. I'm not really getting negative energy in this reading. I don't feel like it's really bad. I feel like it's just trying to clarify where you are with things in your life. But you may, if it's you may be a little too heavily involved in social media. So maybe try to get out there and be more adventurous in your life and less involved on the internet. If you're in groups or, talking, or try to, the King of Wands energy is very, very adventurous energy. And this, as I said, could also be another person. Maybe some of you may actually meet someone in April through social media. Definitely. So I feel like, and there's a great, huge attraction to you from them because of this magic that you have going on here. Even if you are attached to someone, there could be, even if you're just friends or whatever attachment you have to them, I feel like they have a lot of passionate energy towards you. You know, you see with the star card, all these stars here. Hopefully you can see it. Maybe if you put your video on Zoom, there are all the star energy here, and then all these stars here. Some of you may be involved with a star. Maybe there's someone in your life, or maybe you're crushing on someone, or involved with someone who is in the entertainment business. That could be a million different things, but you know, in general. So I would say, if you're single and you're wishing to meet someone, there could be someone in your coming into your life in April with this King of Wands energy. It could also be a fire sign, so Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries. Doesn't have to be, but definitely could be for someone new coming in, or someone coming to you, or just being very significant to you in some way in April, and being very highly attracted to you because of your energy that you're putting out. Now, going into May, you have the Two of Cups, and all of you who listen know what the Two of Cups energy is about. And it's interesting because you have 3 cup cards in this reading, and then you have 2 major arcanas, and then this King of Wands person. So I'm seeing a lot of very positive energy happening the next 6 months for you. Now, let me just talk a little bit about the Two of Cups. So I want to explain a little bit about the difference between the Lover's card and the Two of Cups, because, you know, sometimes we look at the Lover's card, or we look at the Two of Cups, and we think, oh, there's the love. And it doesn't often, not often, but it doesn't always mean that. And it also has a lot to do with the energy of the other cards as well. So when looking at the Two of Cups, what's coming through to me in regard to your love life in May is it's like 2 people coming together, and it's not a choice, but it's maybe just by happenstance, or something shifting and changing in a relationship, of coming together to form a bond. And this twos are about unity, you know. So if in the past there was arguing or things like that, this card can represent making up. And there's a maturity level that's reached with regard to another person. It could be a physical makeup, sex, as depicted in this illustration, or it could just be making up in a psychological way, forgetting about the past and things that may have went wrong, and making things better, and thinking positively about each other. And if you are dating, and if this energy of this person comes through, this card is telling you that whatever the situation is with them, this will develop into something bigger. There's an emotional attachment. But remember that the real commitment of a relationship does not have complete connection with the Two of Cups. You will share, I feel, romantic time with each other, and this will make a positive big difference in how you think about each other. But this card is about growth. So whether you are single or involved, that's the energy that will play forward for you. May, going into June, you have the Seven of Cups. I feel like your reading's going to go kind of quick. Maybe not. Well, the Seven of Cups is like a fantasy card, right? So in June, that's you giving into that. So do be careful. There could be a little bit of controlling happening. You know, I see it sprinkling, like a sprinkling of control between you and another person. So be aware of that. You could be a little, it could be coming from your side or another person. You could be with someone who's very freedom loving, and you could be a little more controlled, or vice versa. So be wary of that with the Seven of Cups in June. That energy could peak. And if that's the case, you or the other person could be using seduction to stay attached to someone. Sometimes that works for some people, sometimes no. I feel that the situation or the relationship could be very sexual in nature, for sure. So you have to be careful. You want to have all things in balance. You know, because Seven of Cups sometimes can represent temptation, like I said, fantasy. So it's calling for you to try to also be realistic about each other and about a relationship if you're single and someone new comes in, or whomever you are with. It's calling for you to try to, you know, enjoy the fantasy, but come back down to earth once in a while. The card can also talk about crushes. So you or another person may have extreme crush on another, but it's not true love just yet, you know, not just yet. And with the Two of Cups here, this is, you know, like I said, birthing a bond, but there's such an extreme crush or extreme like for the other person that you could be in a little bit of a fantasy land with them. You know, even if things come back, if there was difficulty in the past and things are reconciled and you come back together, you could be back in that crush stage, you know, where you're not really seeing the realization of the other person, and perhaps may have not really resolved the issues. You just missed each other or missed the sex and come back together like that, you know. And I feel like it's you who is doing this to the other person because of this Work Your Magic card. I feel like you're being very you know, magical and lustful and seductive, and you know, if you're a male, very similar. Maybe some of you are kind of a little bit of a player. Not with, I don't feel like your intentions are bad. It's just having this energy of, you know, you're just very, very charismatic and attractive at this time, and especially in June. Now going into July, you have the Five of Cups. So, you know, this card sometimes relates to sorrow. So we're going through all this thing. So I don't like all this energy happening, and if you are crushing really hard on someone and you're not being and you don't try to be realistic about the relationship, but it's all fantasy, you could reach this crashing point in July where you feel like, you know, if your partner has to go away, or if they're busy out being adventurous, like we were saying before, you could be feeling sorrowful or missing them of some sort, some way. You know, and also focusing on, you know, you could also be, you could come down from this little peak or pedestal or high that you are, this crush, and maybe just beginning to really see things realistically. And, you know, for some of you, there could be this situation where finding out that, yes, this is a crush, and yes, I'm really attracted to this person, but we really don't have that much in common, you know, or maybe that's all this is. It could be coming to that realization that maybe this is just a very sexual relationship, and, you know, you may want more. You know, so I feel like there's, with the Five of Cups, the really advice is to not be too sad if you come to realize that maybe this person is, for some of you, not all that you thought that they would be. Just for some of you. For others, you could just be missing someone. you know, reconciling, coming back together, being together, forming this bond, being in a very phantasmic, orgasmic situation in June, and then something along that way comes crashing down. I mean, obviously, I don't believe that it's possible to stay in that state all the time. So this could just be the energy of, you know, okay, the fantasy has ended a little bit, so now you're coming back down to earth, and earth's not always the greatest place to be. We wouldn't want to live in fantasy world, especially about someone that you are very attracted to and they very attracted to you. You know, could also be the other person. You know, if you're working all that magic on them and really bringing them into you, which you could be doing, there is that possibility that, you know, after you've worked your magic with them and leave, they could be sorrowful or missing you. That could be happening as well. You Libras. Very enchanting. Now, going into August, you've got the Magician. So, the Magician card that's the manifester right there. So, either, you know, you're coming back around to them in August to bring them back in, and I certainly do not mean this in a manipulative way. And when the Magician's in the reverse, he can be very manipulative. He's in the upright in this reading, but I will give you in the reverse as advice is that if there is someone in your life or someone new coming in that you really have this control over, be wary of how much control you truly do have over them, because I feel like this person is just in awe of you. So try not to take too much advantage. Don't take advantage of their feelings. You know, that's really just kind of an advice, but I feel like you, and for some of you, I don't feel like all of you are doing that, and perhaps this could be for a lot of the men, but for some of you, there is this, you know, you just maybe coming back around to them, seeing that they're a bit sorrowful or that they miss you, and coming back and working your magic again. It's funny because I mentioned the Magician, and I didn't even notice that it was sitting here next to this work your magic. And with the stars, now for some this could be the other person who's got you in like a tizzy over them, okay? And they could just be really, the Magician can be a bit controlling. The Magician's got everything that they need. They have all the tools they need to make things happen and make things work. They get what they want. So if you are involved with someone who has that energy, I feel like a lot of you are just in this very loving, lustful, crush fantasy type thing going on. Not that this person is a horrible person, but I feel like it's more about you and how you're feeling in regard to this person. And the Magician usually it doesn't have it in this deck, but it usually has the infinity symbol. And to me, that's a situation that's going around and around, coming back around and around, like it never ends. So some of you may have been dealing with in the past and will continually be dealing with someone. If this is not what you're hoping for, then I'm sorry, this is how the cards are going. And you are clearly in control of your destiny and the outcome of what you wish for. Of course, whatever the cards or the messages are coming through does not necessarily mean that's the way it has to be, but it's really advice to guide you. So if you are very much enjoying this time, I don't see this ending with someone. It's just continually going on. Infinity just never ends. You know, on a positive note, this Magician person, whether it's you or another person, this is someone who wants to be good to you. They're serious by nature. They're capable of being a good boyfriend or girlfriend, husband or wife. This card in the upright portrays someone whose intentions are good. And the relationship is stress-free. Okay, and it's like it's going, because of all this, whatever's happening here, it could just be such a great connection full of love and happiness and playfulness that it's causing this relationship to be stress-free. The only negative card I'm seeing really is this Five of Cups, but it's a minor arcana, so I just feel there could be a bit of sadness felt in July, but I don't feel like it's a long-term thing. It's just, I feel it's more along the lines of missing someone. Someone may not be available, you or they, you know, and the Magician is just waiting to get it started again, to make it go forward again. It's so funny too, because with this card, it often says that the relationship is magical between you and another person. I think Libra, I can't remember all of the readings that I've recently done, but I feel like this is the best one that I've done for you. So even if there was like an argument or something that may have caused this Five of Cups energy to appear the month before, in August I feel that there will be a resolving of it. Whatever sour feelings or just missing each other or just desiring to be together, that will just end. It will come back around to be a positive experience again. But it's also telling you to be nice to each other, right? So if there's anything that happens in July, you know, come back with a positive energy and goodness and good intentions in your heart, which, if this is not another person, this could be just your energy. You mean well. So for those of you females who are listening, for a Libra man, I don't feel as if he is really, I know I said player early, but I don't really feel like his intentions are bad for you. I just feel like this is someone that you are just crazy about, and you just will, either they're working their magic on you and you are just all in and you're happy and you're feeling good about it. And I feel that's good positive energy. I feel that's a wonderful thing. I don't feel like this person is playing, it may come across to you because they are so magical that it may be hard to believe, you know, which often when we see a magician, we want to believe, but we're just like, who's behind that curtain, you know? So try not to be distrusting. I don't really feel like this person is distrustful. I feel like, you know, this is just, I just feel like the next 6 months is going to be so much fun for you. I really do. I really do. I'm a little envious. Sounds wonderful. Nothing negative, really. Just try to, as I said, with this Work Your Magic card, so much magic. It's a magical read. I might even put this in the title. As with this card is for you to just have steady faith in the outcome of this situation. That's all they're really asking you to do. Have steady faith and believe. It's, you know, our brains want to tell us when we go to a magic show, our brains want to tell us that it's not real. Of course, that's our mindset, you know. However, how much fun will that be if we're sitting in a show and watching a magician and there's nothing worse than if you go to a show like that, sit next to someone and all they keep saying is, this is not real, this is how he did it, this is what he did, this is not real, it's fake, blah, 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 blah. You know what? Who cares? Just have fun. Just enjoy yourself. Really. You know, okay, duh. Okay, maybe it's not. But you know what? Have fun. I'm getting a little crazy. So I'm going to end your reading here now. I think this may have been the shortest one. Libra, if this resonates for you, that's great. If it doesn't, of course, you can always request a personal reading from me by emailing me at moonpietarot@gmail.com. And I will respond almost immediately, if not within the hour. And I will be back in September for another 6-month reading. And I hope that you have a really fun next 6 months and a wonderful time, whatever it is that you will be doing. And I'll be speaking with you soon. Okay? Take care. Bye.